Hello, my name is Enrica. Today I'm going to talk about After Effects and Adobe Premiere, and I would like to start by actually showing you the differences between the two. This is Adobe Premiere, and this is a video that I created for the physics department for instructions. And as you can see, I actually should show you the whole timeline, and I will explain very well later how to create a project in each software. But I want to just explain first and foremost how they work differently, because then you know when do you want to use one or the other. So this is again Adobe Premiere, and if you look at the timeline, you'll notice that it's a pretty linear timeline. Most of the content is spread in the video one track. I have multiple clips in there. For example, if I browse over this area, it tells me that that is the clip called C0013-14, versus if I mouse over this area, it's going to tell me that that is a IMG 6621. So across this video track, there are multiple clips that are basically showing different things we want to show. For example, right now I'm going to actually scroll closer, and I'm going to go a little bit further down in the video, and let's just watch how these different clips interact. So you'll see in the first clip that is Jeremy talking, and then the second clip that is, we can see his hands actually doing something. So let's actually play it for a minute so you see also that I created transitions between the two.
Let's investigate the law of reflection. The first thing we want to notice is that the mirror that we're using is a second surface mirror. That means that the actual reflective surface is along the back, not along the front. So what we need to do then is we need to mark the back of where the mirror is. That will help us when we do our ray tracing.
So if you notice here that we had basically three different clips kicking in. The first one was Jeremy talking and explaining that we were going to do something. In the second one, it was Jeremy showing us to mark something. And then in the third one, he starts adding pins to that situation. So you can see that in Adobe Premiere, we have a linear distribution across time of a series of clips. Now, we can obviously also have, more clips, in different video tracks. Like this clip is on the video track 2. So you can have also more like a kind of distribution through video tracks, but in general you have this situation which everything happens quite horizontally, in quote. Now I should point out though that if I move this so that I can see more of the timeline, down here I see the audio track, and again is an audio track with a pretty horizontal distribution. Now if I look at a file in Adobe After Effects, I see a completely different situation in the timeline. As you can see here, I have multiple layers right here. See how much content I have that I can turn on and off, visible, invisible, isolate one. We'll talk about that later. But I want to show you how there's a series of layers that I can scroll through right here. Look how long, and this is a fairly simple animation with simple boxes and text. But look how everything is distributed in the timeline also vertically. So yes, it's distributed across time, and the time is here. You can see 0.1 seconds, 0.2 seconds, etc., etc. But it's also distributed across, vertical stacking order, just like you would use in Photoshop or Illustrator, in which you have different layers stacked on top of each other. I'm going to play this really quick. This is a animation that kind of creates a branding for the videos. So you'll see no video in there, just the animation. And I'll show you how this exact project that I'm showing in After Effects, this is After Effects, is actually inserted in Adobe Premiere in a video track that is dedicated to this, type of things. So let me actually play this really quickly so that you can see what it is. Is a box that slides in. You can fill in the content. Right now that's a placeholder, and then eventually it slides out of the scene. So it's actually looping. So let's go back into Premiere and show you how the initial part, and I'm going to actually zoom out right now a little bit and show you a little bit more of what I see up here. So what I need to do right now is I'm going to go up here and show you that is actually inserted onto our video at the very beginning of the video. Let me play it.
Let's now talk about flat mirrors. We encounter flat mirrors as well as glass surfaces that act like mirrors in our daily lives.
So you've noticed that all that animation that was created in After Effects, and it was distributed more like in a vertical fashion in terms of layers overlapping each other, can become, if it is a content that is repeatable, that I want to insert in multiple videos, right? Because this type of graphic, this type of animation just allows to explain who is talking, who did the video, or it's basically more like an image that you create for that video, right? It is what we call branding. So this After Effects file can be transformed into what we call a motion graphic template, and then inserted in Adobe Premiere in every one of the videos of a certain person or a certain department. So it becomes kind of a branding feature. But what is important for this part of my teaching is that I want you to understand that in Adobe Premiere that handles videos beautifully, we tend to distribute content in a more horizontal fashion with one clip after the other that then gets transitioned, for example. And transition are not indispensable, but they help. Like that crossfade that I did earlier, that I showed you earlier, is kind of a nice